Hi, it's Suzie Hall with the Cornerstone Collective, and today I am joined by Beth Bierly-Goodworth, a senior designer with Cornerstone Design. Hi, Beth. Thank you for joining me.
Hi, Susie. Thank you for having me.
You bet. I know that we're both really passionate about the importance of sustainability and wellness in interiors and the spaces that we get to design and furnish. And we are on the journey of becoming well-accredited professionals, which is very important to our work. And being LEED accredited professionals, to me, there's a really great synergy between sustainability and wellness. There is a lot of overlap, and so today I just thought we could touch on the areas that the WELL accreditation and certification program touches on. Those being air, water, nourishment, light, fitness, comfort, mind, and innovation. And I think it's especially important for our viewers to realize that not only does interior design encompass the colors, the textures, the pieces of furniture, and oh my gosh, it looks so amazing, but there's that real health and wellness aspect, or can be that aspect included in interiors. And so, with that, I just wanted to ask you, top of mind, what comes to mind when you think about, let's take air and water first, because those are two very, very important areas as we talk about interiors.
Sure. Well, I think air quality is one of the most important things of all, especially when it comes to, designing something that's going to be in an enclosed space. So looking at, when we're picking materials, is it going to off gas? Is it going to not provide, any sort of chemicals in the air that are going to be, harmful? So, always considering that, especially in finishes as well, that's something that often can be smelly, if it's not a qualified product for health and wellness. So air is, bad air quality can be one of the number one killers in the world. So it's really important to always consider that when we're designing. And water, which is one of my favorite things, is really, really important as well. It's not something we have as much control over, but in the WELL program, there's a lot of focus on it because, water is so important to the human body, and having clean water that's not contaminated is really important. So both of those things are actually my two, I think, favorite parts about the WELL program, because they really can contribute to wellness, or it can really bring, a lot of problems in as well.
Yeah, that's so important. I totally agree. We've had clients before that have been, severely allergic to certain contaminants and that sort of thing. And it just, really came home years ago, was driven home to me, just understanding what's involved in a door assembly or furniture, and thinking about formaldehyde, for instance, and what are the adhesives and the glues and all the additives that are added along the way. Even bamboo, which is a wonderfully sustainable product, if it is produced in such a way that all these additives are added for bonding and finishing, and those have these chemicals or additives in them that are harmful to health, then to me it kind of negates the sustainable characteristics of it. It's like, well, yeah, it's sustainable, but then it's harmful to health. And so that's what I was alluding to at the beginning, is I think there's some real important synergies between the two. And our goal, I know, you and I and our firm, is always to have a win-win, and the best of both worlds where we can. But there's really quite a bit of science, right, that we get to dive into as we're selecting our finishes and our FF&E and our fabrics, and even the coatings that go on those for durability. On that note, I think we'll go on to light. We're not going to be able to cover all the categories in our conversation today, but light being natural light and artificial light. So where I'm standing right now, you can see some, suspended direct, indirect pendant fixtures and a skylight above my head. when I bought this studio building, I actually had 4 skylights added because I wanted the natural light and wanted the workplace to be really productive and healthy and invigorating. And the more light that we can bring in and control the glare, the better it is for the workplace. And that studies have proven that time and time again. And then with artificial light, having dimming capabilities and the color temperatures and all that good stuff. So wanted to ask if you would share a little bit more about your outlook on incorporating lighting design and lighting elements in our interiors projects.
Sure. Well, I think, aesthetically and making things interesting, it's always nice to have different layers of light. So, like you're talking about with the suspended light, and you have natural light from the windows, you have the skylights coming in. As a design firm, having good lighting is very important for us. But because we're looking at everything together, we're looking at colors. But just in general, in the workplace, you want to have the ability to see the outside, to have the natural light, and connect with nature in that way. But then also, especially during the winter time when there's less daylighting, you want to have overhead lighting, general lighting, and just making it where glare isn't an issue. And that's positioning and putting things where they need to be, so people have enough light to work, but they're not distracted, or their eyes aren't becoming blinded from glare and bad lighting. So it's important to consider the task and the user and what they'll be doing, and what type of lighting that they're going to need.
Yeah, so true. And as you were talking, I was thinking about how people are always encouraging each other to get outside, right? Especially with the year that we've endured with the pandemic. Get outside, get some vitamin D, get out, all of that. Well, we're bringing some of that inside into the interior environment by or through the windows and the skylights, and allowing that access that you were talking about to the light. And by placing workspaces and making windows even bigger potentially, so that that light and that natural, um, just the naturally occurring light, making that available to people on the inside is so important. And then, yeah, the layering of light is such a beautiful thing, isn't it? If it's done right. And I know
Mhm.
that that's something that we really focus a lot on. And then there's the biophilia, the connectivity to nature and the outdoors. Again, I'm looking out our studio window, and I can reach out almost and grab a tree, and there's grass and there's greenscape. And again, it's so important in interior spaces that people have the ability to connect that way as well. So.
Yes, and I was thinking, as you were saying that too, just having windows and be able to, if they're operable, to be able to open them up and get some fresh air in and more ventilation, which is something that we're talking a lot more about right now too, with getting air moving and stagnant air, and just making it better for everyone to get, not just be breathing in stale air all day.
Oh, yes, that's so important. I brought up that question on a virtual conference I was attending a couple of weeks ago, and an architect was giving a presentation, and I asked him how often they're designing operable windows in their projects for hotels right now, and he said they're doing more and more of it. And I think this pandemic has just really brought that home, how important it is to have fresh air, not just from a general health perspective, but from contaminants and pathogens and viruses and productivity and attitude and all that, mental clarity. So I was really excited to hear him respond with that answer, because
That is
that's
exciting.
where it happens, right? Sorry, go ahead, you were going to say
Oh,
something.
that is exciting. I'm thinking about a hotel I stayed in New York, and even though it was way up high floor, the window, you could open it up a little bit, but even just having that, and this is before COVID, but just having that ability to bring in some clean air just gave a greater comfort of like, okay, I know I'm breathing in something that's New York City air, but getting some fresh air in and kind of just clearing things out. So that's exciting to hear that they're incorporating that more.
Yep, very exciting. I agree. And so I think the last one for today, we'll just touch on fitness. And I love what the Well program has incorporated in as it relates to fitness. And again, so many people have just been, yourself included, working from home for the last year. And, sometimes the spaces are very small and there's maybe not the access to get up and move around or what have you. And then there's the whole mental block of, well, I'm stuck at my desk. I've heard so many people say this. I'm more productive because I'm just go, go, go. But it is so important that we're getting up and moving, at the very minimal, standing and stretching and, taking those little breaks. So tell me a little bit more about what your thoughts are around fitness and what you've learned so far along the way on this well journey.
Well, I think one thing I do miss about working in an office or an office building, my last office building, I was on the third floor, so I had the opportunity to take the stairs throughout
Mm,
the day, which was always just kind of like, stop what I'm working on, go walk the stairs for a few minutes, get the blood pumping, and kind of re-energize in that way. Now working from home, I try to get up and move around and still have that in my day, even though I don't have access to stairs anymore, and just try and take these little breaks. And while I think really beautifully incorporates this whole element into the standard to just encourage people, like it's a 360 3D, it's everything. It wants to take in every account of wellness and incorporate it into, whatever space you're in. So just having access to go walk around or go outside or even just get up and stretch it at your desk if it's your desk at home or in an office, just taking even just, a reminder, Apple Watches and Fitbits are good about that. Get up, stand up, go walk around, and just having that little break was really, really helpful. And it's good for you too. It's good mentally and it's good for you physically. So
right. And I can tell the difference when I, don't take my afternoon break or, just that mental, just, okay, shut it off for even a few minutes, like you mentioned, and then come back to it, whether it's work or a project you're working on or studying or what have you. I I know that I've learned to be more mindful about that over the last year, and I can tell the difference when I'm not. So I really appreciate that, about the Well program. And so, yeah, thank you for joining me in this conversation. We'll probably do another one, but just wanted to share with our audience, a little, bit more about when an interior design professional or an architect or somebody is speaking about the Well program, the LEAD program, wellness or sustainability, it really is important and it really is meaningful. It's not just to get a plaque on your wall. And so here at Cornerstone, we are very committed to that and also helping to educate people. And so hopefully you found this conversation helpful and interesting. Please like and follow our YouTube channel and subscribe to it. And we will be sharing more content with you along the way. So thank you again, Beth, for joining me.
thank you.
Thank you so much.